You know, I have been bringing to you lately the implosions of the mind from Fox News hosts and from MAGA figures across the board relating to Vice President Kamala Harris's candidacy for the presidency. But it keeps getting worse. For how much they act like she's a weak candidate and how much they act like no one likes her, their fear and panic over the momentum of her campaign is coming through so brutally. And the weird thing, we talked about this with Tim Miller, is that they don't have the discipline to just deliver a compelling case against her. And instead, it's all these bizarre, vile personality and identity attacks. It's stuff like what we're going to go through here. And if this continues to be their line of attack or their lines of attack, then I feel really good about November. So Laura Ingraham, you're not even going to believe this if you haven't seen this already. And I have a few different clips from her monologue last night. But a clip we already looked at was this. I thought that it wouldn't get weirder than this, but it does last night. But first, here's a reminder of what we already looked at.
Yeah, that's DEI. And this sums up the Biden-Harris administration's fixation with it, because it gives them the veneer of being champions of minorities and women. And Harris knows how to lay it on really thick at her sorority event last night.
And please have a seat. I thought everyone was standing. If you have a seat, please have a seat. Thank you all. And to all the members of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated.
That's really funny. And
I can't get over it. That's a you problem, Laura. Laura, no one understands except for the weirdest of the weird why that clip bothers you. She's just laughing and smiling at a crowd like a normal person. Well, somehow, I know I don't want to delay it too much because that gets annoying, but it's too funny, and I'm so excited because you don't know what's about to hit you. They are suffering over at Fox News. Some people are calling it some sort of collective mental breakdown. Some people describing it as just a crumbling, a collapsing of their argument against the Democratic Party. Kamala Harris, I think best said, has broken their brains. It's very bizarre. And if her being upset that Kamala Harris did whatever it is that she's upset with in that clip that she reacted to, if you thought that was strange and off-putting on the part of Laura Ingraham, get this. Now they're upset because she hugs people.
yeah, now you get it. It's better for her to stay in her sweet spot as the hugger-in-chief. Yeah, now.
What is that? What are we supposed to be upset with? Because there are clips, I'll admit, while it doesn't bolster their crazy statements about Biden, there are clips of him hugging, touching, kissing on the head people that I understand why they go viral. They have sort of weird vibes. But what in that compilation is supposed to be upsetting to us? Hugger-in-chief. She hugs people like a normal person as I'm hitting my mic. Watch this again.
Now you get it. It's better for her to stay in her sweet spot as the hugger-in-chief. Yeah.
All right. I do have more for you, but it's time to get real with Laura Ingraham. Laura, who hurt you? Who hurt you, Laura? So badly. that now hugging triggers you. To get this clear, of the attacks against Kamala Harris, and I will address what they could be saying instead in a more rational way a little bit later. But first, they're upset that she laughs. Okay. Interesting. They're upset that she hugs. And they're upset that she likes puppies. No, that's what it feels like. And then they're upset that she can be both black and Indian. We say that Trump shouldn't be elected again because he's a convicted felon, because he tried to block the peaceful transfer of power last time he was president, nearly ending our American experiment through allegedly illegal means, because he was found in a civil trial to have raped a woman, because he called for the termination of the Constitution, because it said the government should go after media outlets he doesn't like, because he's disparaged our veterans, calling them suckers and losers for giving their life to service. He's disparaged disabled Americans. And we could go on. And your critique is that Kamala laughs, she hugs, she smiles at a crowd, that's upsetting, and she's black/Indian. How dare she? Now, I'm not gonna straw man their argument. Of course, there are other things, like while often dishonesty is deployed in the argument about Kamala Harris and the border, there's at least a policy conversation there. So I say, if you were rational, you would just focus on things like that. Analyze her role in attempting to address root causes relating to migration to the southern border. That's the things we could talk about in politics. Again, I'll still have to debunk whenever you make false points and the broader hypocrisy of MAGA complaining about the border, but then obstructing solutions to it. But at least that's a policy conversation. Or, again, it actually does benefit the American people, not for Republicans to lie about the economy, but to talk about the economy and battle it out over who has a better idea for how we're going to improve people's lives within the American economy. Crime, while they lie and pretend like it's spiking, it's a thing that we can talk about and look at how it's plummeting under the Biden-Harris administration and try to figure that out. Why is it plummeting so much under them? Maybe they should stay in power. But instead, hugging, laughing, identity characteristics are triggering and causing people like Laura Ingraham to spiral so hard that she looks like a genuine, I said in a bad segment, sociopath, okay? Ugh. She laughed at the crowd. How dare she? All right, let's continue on with this wild monologue.
Now, everyone on the right having conniptions over the Kamala honeymoon period needs to take a chill pill. Okay, I'm about sick of this. This is no time to collapse into a puddle of goo. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
I love that she said that because then she goes on to collapse into a puddle of goo. Oh, it's so good. Look at this.
Well, bigger than, oh wait, Obama would...
One more time.
Well, bigger than, oh wait, Obama.
I'm totally okay. It's everything's fine. We're not going to lose to her. Don't collapse into a puddle of goo.
Well, bigger than, oh wait, Obama. Would Obama need 30 minutes in his SUV with his briefing book to prepare for this? She opens the book.
I don't know what I want to be. I'm always, you know how you have to work on yourself? And in working on myself, I said, Luke, don't just be someone who comes out of clips and goes, wow, that was crazy. Have something to say, right? Provide insight to your audience. But wow, what am I supposed to say about that? Okay. You're so weird, Laura. And I say it with love because I do think this had to come from a unfortunate journey. You can't get to a place where you're upset at hugging, laughing, and opening a binder unless the path to that place was treacherous, okay? Something went wrong for Laura Ingraham to be on national TV saying, take a look at this clip. And it's sometimes a clip of Kamala Harris. I know this is going on, but it's just too fascinating. Again, this was the clip that was upsetting the first time.
Please have a seat. I thought everyone was standing. If you have a seat, please have a seat. Thank you all. And to all the members of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated.
That's really funny.
I think I'm gonna just save this clip as a bookmark and come back to it often. And then this one more time.
Yeah, now you get it. It's better for her to stay in her sweet spot as the hugger in chief.
And then we saw those. So, yes, you know what? You got us. Please campaign against hugger in chief. Oh, that's good. That's good. All right, and then this one really does bother me.
She's even worse than Biden because she's never really been vetted, and she has no experience. They're just playing silent compilations, if you're listening to the podcast. While she's talking, the B-roll next to Laura Ingraham is just muted videos of Kamala Harris laughing. It's crazy. Can you even get your head around the gall, the audacity of this person next to me laughing? She thinks she's some kind of comedian, does she? And hugging? Trump's gonna win. Okay, that's all I can say. Hugger in chief. So the thing there, though, that I should address is that she says Kamala Harris has no experience. Right, except for the most experience, right? District attorney of a major city after being a courtroom prosecutor, then going on to be the attorney general of the largest state in this country, then going on to be a senator from that state, then going on to be the vice president of the United States. What other job? What else would have to be on her resume for her to be qualified, have the proper experience in Laura Ingraham's mind? That's my question. Here's more. Because her brilliance about topics like Ukraine, it's just too much for most mortals to digest. Okay. I don't care how long the segment goes. We are going to properly experience what is happening in this moment. Fox hosts, and I have a whole different segment about different Fox hosts later, but something has gone wrong. This has nothing to do with Kamala Harris. None of this is negative for her. But they're having some sort of serious event, borderline medical event over this, okay? Cognitively having some sort of event. Because here she goes, look at Kamala Harris. Really, and the lower third chyron is Kamala's embarrassments humiliate America, okay? Think about this. All the people who watch the show regularly, if you divide just the people who aren't subscribed, that group, if each and every one of you click the subscribe button today, we'd be instantly to 1 million subscribers. That'd be pretty cool. Click it if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Back to the video. Watch Kamala Harris humiliate America, according to Fox News here. Oh gosh. I know I think Kamala Harris should win, but this one makes it tough to say that. Just.
I mean, listen, guys. We're talking about the potential for war in Europe. I mean, let's really take a moment to understand the significance of what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that was a bad one. Yeah.
Can we watch that one again? She said, let's not misunderstand how significant a war in Europe is. What's wrong with saying that? Someone help me, Laura. I wish I could talk to Laura right now. She's something's going on really brutally for her and her colleagues.
I mean, listen, guys. We're talking about the potential for war in Europe. I mean, let's really take a moment to understand the significance of what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that was a bad one.
Oh, yeah, that was a bad one. Okay. Laura, are you listening to the clips or are you just reading your teleprompter? Because maybe you played the wrong clip there, like we speculated with the other thing. But her saying, we're talking about a war in Europe, and this was, I'm assuming, before Russia's invasion. That was in February, maybe right before. My dates are blurry right now on when exactly the invasion took place. But you pick two lines where she says something so true and so uncontroversial, unless you're in Russia, which is, even Russia would admit this. We're talking about a war in Europe. Let's really take a moment to understand the significance of what we're talking about. Next thing you know, they're going to play clips of her saying, hi, I'm Kamala Harris, and cut it off and go, oh yeah, ouch. That's brutal. Okay, that's tough to watch. So I guess my serious message, I know we're having a good time, but that's all we can do. And yes, I feel pretty giddy about the fact, sorry guys, this is getting there. I feel giddy about the fact that this is their line of attack. Because what I walked through earlier is the fact that we're talking about people's rights on the line. And just common sense governance versus chaos. That contrast. Prosecutor versus felon. That contrast. Patriot versus person who tried to end the American experience. That contrast. And they're talking about hugger in chief. And they're talking about laughing. And that gives me so much hope that this momentum is not temporary. What they keep saying, it's a honeymoon period, it's a honeymoon period. I think we're seeing not just a spike, but the start of sort of a trajectory towards Kamala Harris leading this thing. And that's just good for America. That's good for MAGA folks. Because even though they think they want it, they don't actually want the America that awaits in a second Trump term. And for that, we should be excited. That's what this is about, as much as it's about mocking Laura Ingram's goofiness, strangeness, and struggles. Live on air. Let me know what you thought of all that in the comments. If you want to get extra content daily, you can do so by clicking the join button below. If you want to get merch, you can do so by going to lukebeasleymerch.com or clicking the little pop-ups that are there on YouTube. And if you want to donate to the Hugger campaign, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of this video.